Welcome to Keep Trucking Personal, where we invite you to explore the heart and soul of our company, Keevy Brothers Trucking. Through engaging storytelling, insightful market updates, and vibrant energy, our podcast reflects our culture, values, and achievements. Whether you're a team member or industry enthusiast, join us to build connections, foster growth, and inspire excellence. Discover why we're more than just a company. We're a community, a catalyst for positive change, and a home for those aspiring to be part of something extraordinary. The pre-trip is complete and engines ready. We're set to hit the road on the Keep Trucking Personal podcast. Let's go.
Welcome back to Keep Trucking Personal. My name is Tyler Keevy and I'm your host. Today is a very important day. And the reason that I say that it's important, it is the start of the DOT International Road Check, the CVSA, May 14th through May 16th. And CVSA stands for Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance. That one always gets me. And I have two special guests, Dean Jornson, who everyone's familiar with, manager of fleet, and Tyler Johnson, our manager of safety. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us, Tyler. Thank you.
I'm excited to get into this one. There's a lot for these drivers to prepare for, and there's a few key points that the DOT are looking for during this inspection. But why don't you guys take a minute and just tell us a little bit about what this blitz, as they call it, entails and some thoughts you guys have around it.
I'll start on this one. This is our Blitz 2024. Here we are. The day is today. In my 10 years at Keevy Brothers, I've gone through 10 years of these, and I've noticed some states can get kind of aggressive on pulling our trucks in and whatnot, while other states, it seems like they don't even really notice it. Nothing really changes. But regardless, I think we all need to be prepared for what topics they're going to be bringing up this year. Tyler will get into this a little bit more in a minute here, but they are going to be looking for alcohol either on your person or in your system, and then also on our brake systems. So these are areas we're going to really want to have to focus on this year.
And some of it seems so, I guess, common sense, right? That you think, why would they have these focus points? Why wouldn't they just say there's an increased inspection amount? But every year they have a couple different focus points. And to Dean's point, this year is the tractor protection and anti-bleed back systems, as well as the controlled substance and alcohol possession. So things that we're all well aware of, like in this industry, it's part of the day-to-day, but they come with a hyper focus on that. And that means we have to be prepared. So why don't we kind of go into just the best practice on a pre-trip, right? Like that's where this starts. It starts in the morning right now before you go trucking. It starts yesterday. Like every day you should be doing this and being prepared. What is your best practice, Dean, Tyler, on making sure we have a good pre-trip?
I think, well, hopefully we got guys starting in the morning listening right now, doing their pre-trip or whatever. During this inspection, that's going to happen. There's 37 steps that they're going to go through. What our guys need to do is a lot more than just walking around thumping tires and checking lights. You need to get through, check your tractor protection systems, which we'll discuss in a little bit. Make sure that the bleed down stops the truck air from leaking. But yes, check your brakes, check your cargo securement, logs. We'll get into that. Go through your permit book. Make sure your insurance is current, your registration, all this type of stuff. There's multiple areas in a pre-trip that need to be checked, and our drivers are really good at it. So we're just here to make sure that they're doing it right, and just to add any little reminders that you may have overlooked in your years of doing this job.
So have you had any feedback from drivers like the DOT? I know, and I've seen pictures and heard from drivers that like the scales, for example, blow up. Like there's DOT commercial vehicle inspector vehicles just everywhere in the scale. Do they start setting up in different spots too? Just like, intersections, decent pull-offs? Like, are the DOT everywhere? Is it kind of like the states covered them, or is it just a focus in the scales, you think?
From what I've seen in my years out there, it seems to be more on the focus on the scales itself. They'll have a bunch of DOT officers set up there. I haven't seen many hidden, under the bridges here and there. I think they really just want to focus on their scales. Now, don't hold my feet to the fire on that. Each state is a little different on this type of stuff, but in my experiences, that is what I've noticed.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of conquering numbers, right? Like the more inspectors you have, the more you can kind of funnel them through a channel. Maybe like these two are ready. So definitely think how many scales we go through in a day. Every state has multiple. So your odds are very good today through Thursday that you will be inspected.
You will be inspected. Yeah.
It's not so much an if, it's a when.
Yeah. And we want to be here to make sure you guys you're not scared to be inspected, to almost be excited for your inspection, because we're going to make sure we're going to pass these inspections this year, guys, and we're going to get some money in your pockets for doing it.
That's right. Like at the end of this, you pass it with flying colors. There is something to look forward to that has value. Why don't you just tell us what they can earn with a clean inspection?
This is an area that I used to handle, but I'm going to pass this off to Tyler. This is an area that he handles now to handling them clean inspections coming in. So Tyler, take it away, man.
Yeah. So anything that's a level 3 with a clean inspection, you get $100. Level 2 is $150. And then a level 1 is $200. That would be going right in your pocket just for making sure everything's in order and getting a clean inspection and going about your day and making some extra money.
Have you seen anyone get 2 inspections throughout one of these blitz?
I have not. I'm not saying it's impossible.
I have seen drivers. Well, I guess let's just say not the blitz, but I have seen drivers get a couple inspections in a day in different states. They just their number just got called that day, apparently.
Yeah. Talk about being prepared. Okay, let's dive into it. Let's talk right about the tractor protection valve right now. That's the first of 2 that they're focused on. What is the best way to test that, Dean? You're in the truck right now and you're going to make sure that the one focal point is tested. What do you do?
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my safety glasses on, because there's a chance that there's going to be some air escaping from these lines once you unhook them. The second thing we're going to want to do is make sure that your wheels are chocked, because you're going to have the brakes released to do this test. So chock your wheels, release both your trailer and your tractor brakes. And now you're going to need to go in between the truck and the trailer up on your catwalk and slowly unhook your air lines from the trailer. This is obviously going to allow the air to escape somewhat rapidly. So that's why you have the safety glasses on. And the trailer brakes should immediately apply. And then the tractor brake should also apply. And then the air to the trailer should also stop coming out of the lines.
Okay. So the DOT then, when they're testing, obviously administer it the exact same way, set everything up, pop that air off. What air pressure are they looking for? Or maybe our truck manufacturer is different than many others. When does that tractor protection valve usually pop? Is it 20 pounds?
20 PSI. Must remain in the line.
So when your air pressure gauge gets down to 20 PSI, that tractor protection valve will kick off. And then the next step is listening to those glad hands to make sure there's no air coming out of them. Like that tractor protection valve is supposed to completely seal any air from leaking out of those 2 lines.
Yes. And then the second thing they may have you do is go inside the tractor and apply the brakes to, your foot feed to see if any air is coming out the back, and there should not be. That tractor protection valve should shut everything off like that.
Yep.
What this does is it would stop a trailer in its tracks should it ever come unhooked from the truck.
Makes sense. It's kind of unique that there's so many things on the truck that this is the one that they chose, but that wasn't our decision. So we'll make sure we're ready for it. Okay. Well, the controlled substance and alcohol possession, I know this is one that we've spoke about, we've created videos about, and we've tried to prepare everybody, but there's no reason that we're not going to cover it again and dive into what does it mean to follow the guidelines from the FMCSA. What is their guidelines?
You can't have any smell on you. You can't have any in your system, nothing like that. It does seem kind of silly that, well, yeah, of course, I'm a truck driver. I'm not going to have anything on me. It's not like I'm going down the road of drinking. But when guys, drivers come off a home time and you had a fun night and you got to work tomorrow, it can happen to where it's still in your system. You got to make sure and take that time off and not be out on the road in these trucks if you've been indulging in alcohol the night before. I would highly recommend that you have a minimum of 24 hours off prior to driving a truck after consuming alcohol, any amount of alcohol. Guys, this is your livelihood out there, and they're looking for this type of stuff. So err on the side of caution on this one. Do not have any prior to.
And obviously outside of today, tomorrow, and Thursday, this is an all-time, this isn't just because of this blitz. We want to make sure that it's well known that, like Dean said, make sure you're well rested after any alcohol consumption. Make sure you do not have any alcohol in the vehicle. So they pull you in for an inspection and you have some sort of empty can or a filled can, that is not going to prepare you to pass. They're not only looking for alcohol controlled substance. So at this point, it's anything that is not prescribed to you, that is illegal, that is alcohol. Like there's a long list, and we'll keep it short, but make sure that if there somehow is something that could put you under these checks, that you are free and clear of it. And that may mean taking time, whatever. We do not want anyone set up for failure here. And this is an important one. So drivers, please make sure that you have everything crossed, your T's and your I's dotted there.
Yeah, just double check your prescriptions. Look at your prescriptions. Make sure your name is on it if you have any tablets or with you in your truck outside of your aspirins and whatnot.
Okay, well, we covered the 2 focus points. Let's talk about logbooks. They're not going to just pull you in and look at those 2 things. You're going to have to be prepared for an inspection of, like Tyler had said, level 3, level 2, level 1. Guys, what do we want to remind our drivers to look for and make sure is ready to go on their logbooks?
First and foremost, I'd like to point out by just anything as simple as certifying your logs from the previous days. It's easy layup stuff for an officer to navigate on. And same goes with form and manner. Making sure you're having shipping docs documented on your ELD, having the right trailer selected. When you're empty, marking your shipping docs as empty. There's always got to be something in that box. That box can never be empty. Even if your trailer is empty, you are still required to have something in that box. And it all just is an easy layup for an officer to cite you on and give you a violation and hit the CSA score and hit your record.
Yeah, those are the little things that you can get so caught up. You deliver your load, hustle into the next place, and I forgot to update my logbook. And that's what they're looking for when there's this extra enforcement. They are going to be paying attention to the little details. So anything you can do to make sure and double check that. Our driver managers will be prepared to check for you as well. Tyler, obviously in safety, is going to be checking. We're going to do everything we can to help make sure that you guys are ready there.
I'd like to add, so when you guys do get pulled into an inspection, be sure and go on duty right away. Just go on duty if they're pulling you into a scale. That is technically on duty, and they can write you up for if you go off duty while the inspection is about to begin.
Dean, you had said there's 37 steps and there's so many things to go through. And some of the simple things, the permit book, the tractor protection valve, and wearing your safety glasses, Tyler talking about certifying your logs. Let's talk about dealing with a roadside inspector. How should you handle that? How should you conduct that? And I mean, like professional wise, like, that these guys and gals that are enforcing this deal with a lot of personalities. How do we make sure that we're on the top tier and we treat these inspectors right?
Well, at the end of the day, the inspectors are human just like you. They got a job to do just as much as you do. And going into a scale house with a good attitude does nothing but benefit the situation. Going in with a poor attitude, it's going to give an officer every reason to throw the bookie and find anything they can to penalize you, which, again, would penalize you from a clean inspection and earning extra money. So having a good attitude and just listening, understanding, and trying to get out of there as fast as you can and legal and keep continuing about your day.
Yeah. And listening to this podcast and being prepared, knowing that you walked in there and being able to feel that I had checked these boxes and my paperwork's in my binder and I've got my logs all cleaned up. Like that's another level of confidence as well when you walk into one of these situations, because they can be kind of intense, especially if there's 30 guys, inspectors walking around, kind of just eagle eye in your truck, trying to find any little thing they can. Kind of ties into, I guess when you think of like the mode of transportation with us being primary open deck, there's another feature that you have to really focus on, which is your cargo securement and making sure that everything visually looks, you roll through that scale. They might be just looking for somebody, not even based off data, what looks suspicious right now. And there's another way to prevent that. And that's extra securement and being, doing your due diligence and making sure you're crossing all those T's as well.
We got good drivers out there who know where these scales are. Tyler and I preach this to our guys. If you know you're going to go into a scale or you're coming up on a scale, grab the exit right before it, walk around the truck, check the tires, check all your straps, check the lights. Don't give them that easy stuff. That quick little 10-minute stop could save you hours of an inspection coming up. Like we say, we're not giving them easy layups. They're not picking the low-hanging fruit that we're giving them if we roll in with a flat tire or a strap, blowing in the wind or anything like that. So stop, check your stuff before you go in there. It will save you a lot of time and a lot of headache.
One thing I think, Dean, that many times gets overlooked is checking to make sure your paperwork is in the trailer, your tube on the trailer, because so many times we do drop and hook. You hook up to a new trailer, you do your walk around, the lights look good, the trailer looks good collectively, but you didn't open that tube or look in the plastic where you can see in there and make sure there's paperwork in there. That's another little spot that they can get you if you don't have the documentation, the registration for the trailer. Something we can easily overlook, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Go pop open that tube, take a look, make sure the registration's in there, make sure that there's a current inspection on the trailer. And if there's not, contact Fleet. We have access to them documents. We can email them to you right away. Sometimes it's happened they can get wet or a driver forgot to put them back in there or anything like that. We're all human at the end of the day, but we will be able to get that stuff replaced if you call us.
So a driver completes his inspection, Tyler. It's all good. He's happy. He wants to get that $200. What should he do right after he's done being inspected?
As soon as you're done being inspected, I would send it in through Vector right away. Selecting your document type, you would click DOT inspection. It comes directly to me. I keep an eye on Vector daily. So the sooner that we get that inspection sent in, sooner I can get you paid. And that goes with good or bad paperwork. Need it right away.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget we're always very optimistic that we can see clean ones come through. But in the event there is something that they do find, whether it's out of service or not, that same process is true. Once you get back to your truck, the inspection, you're done, you're wrapping up. Before you leave, send that inspection paperwork in. We, in many states, have to sign it and send it back to make sure that they're essentially making sure that we're aware of the violation as well as corrective action to make sure it's fixed. So please, good, which we're very optimistic for, we're prepared, or bad, make sure that you send that inspection in through Vector. If Vector isn't an option, you can always email it to safety@kiwibros.com. You can email it to fleet@kiwibros.com. There's multiple avenues, but Vector being the primary one.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, I know that this is a big focus point, something that we prepare for every year. I feel like this year we are more prepared than ever with our new Motiv technology, the simplification of that, the ease, like the way we can just navigate through and know when a driver is in a scale or needs assistance. There's many factors here that I feel like have set us up for success. Is there any last minute tips that you guys would like to share with the drivers to help them get through these next 72 hours?
I'll start by saying, if you happen to know that you're going to be in Duluth, or this even goes after this podcast, just for any inspection, come on in, see Tyler, myself, or even our fleet team. Have us go through your permit book. It doesn't hurt to have that second set of eyes glance through. I can print off anything that might be of value to you. Also, utilize our express bay in the shop. The perfect time for them to come in, check your lights and your tires and all that type of stuff while I'm looking at your permit book. So utilize the tools that we're offering to you to help you get these clean inspections.
Awesome, dude. Tyler, what about you?
Just a reminder again on the logbook stuff of certifying logs and hours of service are within legality and form and manner as well. They're super key points that you tend to overlook, but they are huge factors in what an officer could find and how they can essentially ruin your day.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to just recap it again. You guys tell me if I missed anything because it's this important these next few days. They're looking for tractor protection valve and bleed down. Wear your safety glasses. Test it if you can before you leave. Know that it works. Make sure that there is zero alcohol or any controlled substance that is not prescribed to you in the truck, and make sure that you've had plenty of rest after that time you did indulge in one of those 37 steps that they can go through in looking at your truck. If you get a level 1 inspection, please take the extra time this morning to walk around, make sure your tires look good, take a peek underneath that trailer, make sure your brakes look good, there's nothing hanging, make sure all your lights work, all the reflective tape is there, make sure your cab card book is good. Get into Motiv and make sure that you have all of your logs certified, you have your shipping document, you have your trailer number, and make sure when that inspection is done that you send it into Tyler so we can celebrate with you and for you. Anything else, guys, that I missed?
I think that about covered it. That was great. just to touch on, it's not just for this week. I mean, let's keep it going after that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can earn this money. I should have said that. Thanks for catching that. You can earn this money today, tomorrow, Thursday, and any day. Like, it doesn't stop. We want you set up for success. This is just a good litmus test to make sure that we are prepared. That's why the government is doing it. They want to test us, and we're going to show them that we're prepared. So I'm excited. I know you guys are. We'll follow up with the results of how we did this week, and we're really optimistic about that.
Right on. I'm looking forward to seeing some clean inspections rolling here in the next couple hours. So here we go.
All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap. I want to thank everyone for listening to Keep Trucking Personal, and tune in next week. We have an exciting guest.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Keep Trucking Personal. We appreciate you taking the time to explore the heart and soul of Keavy Brothers Trucking with us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review to let us know your thoughts. Tune in next time as we continue our journey together, diving deeper into what makes us a community, a catalyst for positive change, and a home for those who aspire to be part of something truly extraordinary. Until then, keep trucking, and we'll catch you on the next episode.